Today we're driving the 2024 Toyota Prius Limited all-wheel drive. This is almost a $40,000 Prius. It is fully loaded with every option, top trim. I'm here with Substitute Topher.
Good morning.
And we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
It's been a little bit since I've driven a Prius. I've taken a break from Prius driving for the last year or so. And as you can see today, we've got kind of a snowy, wintry mix. We're going to test out the all-wheel drive system, walk you guys around this, talk about our experience in it this week. I've averaged 38.1 miles to the gallon driving kind of to home and back from Ypsi, which is usually a pretty fuel-efficient route, though it has been freezing cold. It is currently 26 degrees Fahrenheit outside, so kind of chilly. You beat my MPG average.
Yeah, I spent 3 days in it also, and I was getting 42 miles to the gallon. But it was a little bit warmer when I had it.
Still quite good.
But that's pretty good.
Yeah. Hybrids always see quite a fuel economy hit in colder weather.
Yeah.
Still not as efficient as the manual Volkswagen Jetta.
Yeah, or the Porsche Cayenne Turbo.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We got 50 miles to the gallon.
Which is a plug-in hybrid and has 700 horsepower. Yeah, but that's okay. The thing I like about the Prius is the new one looks great, and it is a purpose-built vehicle. It has some compromises. Visibility is a bit wonky in this car. This week I kind of struggled with these A-pillars making turns out of intersections, and they just kind of impede your visibility. But you haven't driven the Cybertruck, but I have.
Yeah.
It reminds me of driving the Cybertruck because there's this huge flat windscreen in front of you and this huge A-pillar. You do get a digital rear view mirror, and that's part of the, I believe, advanced technology package.
This is actually a single option.
Single option, okay. It's like $350 for this mirror.
You can spec this on, which you almost have to.
You really want it because you can't
really
see
want
anything
it.
out of the back.
And then this also has, like you said, advanced technology pack, which gets you the 360 camera, which Toyota has some unique name for, I don't remember, and parking sensors. And then we have heated rear seats also.
That's right, and some floor mats and bumper appliques and all sorts of stuff.
So it's 40 grand.
Okay, well, I think we've been putting off getting outside for long enough.
Let's go.
I'm bundled. This is painted in Reservoir Blue, which is quite an attractive looking color. And we don't have too much salt sprayed up on the side of it today.
You see the way these wipers move? I'm sure they'll do it again.
Oh yeah, they're really interesting.
But there's like this big sort of thing here that swivels. You can see like the swivel arm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, because of that big flat windshield.
Are these 19s? They probably are. That's probably why this is not getting very good fuel economy. It's because it has huge 19-inch wheels on it with a very unique sizing. 195/50 R19s. I believe I looked it up when the Prius was first launched, and there really weren't any tires available for the Prius in this size. You could kind of go up and down sizing a little bit and work with it.
Is this a Toyo?
It's just a strange tire size. I wish Toyota would just not give this 19s. They're completely unnecessary. They're only for looks, and you're going to hit a pothole and be completely stranded.
It's a Toyo.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. I do like the way this Prius drives. I still maintain that I think it is one of the highest quality feeling, best built, nicest to drive Toyotas on sale today. It just feels so solid. Let's look at rear cargo space, trunk capacity. Gosh, did we ever think this Prius would be sexy?
No.
It's changed.
I'll never forget the day in 2022 when Toyota pulled me into a room with no windows and I didn't have my phone, and they pulled the cover off of this.
Yeah.
And I was like...
Staggered.
Oh, yeah. So it's crazy. It was this color too.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's
wow.
crazy.
It's like those, those people you went to high school with, and they
you don't see them for a few years.
They peaked at like 30. Yeah. They had to glow up.
Yeah.
All right, well, not a lot of space in the back of this Prius. No spare tire, so that when you do hit a pothole in your 19-inch wheels with unique tire sizing, you've got a call tow truck pretty much. And then we have this white foam back here, which is white for a reason.
Really?
Yes, but I can never remember the reason, and people always chime in the comments. So we'll just keep that tradition going.
Okay, sounds good.
Powered tailgate. Excellent.
I like how instead of spelling out limited, they put
Limited, yeah. On the passenger side, I have my son's forward-facing car seat. And though there isn't a lot of headroom to get him in, you got to kind of watch, helping him get in the car, don't bump his head. Getting back there, this seat is pushed pretty far back. He was pretty comfortable back here this week. No big issues with rear seat space. It's not enormous. It's kind of cramped. Chris, actually, let me have you hop in the
Oh, yeah.
rear driver's side.
I thought you were going to tell me to get in the car seat for a second.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. We could try, but you might have more luck getting in the back of an Aston Martin.
Yeah.
You're 5'11".
Yep. Sat behind your position at 5'10".
That's pretty good. How's your headroom?
I can't sit up straight. I have to slouch a little, but
Okay.
I think I'd be okay because legroom is fine. We've got heated rear seats, like I mentioned
Oh,
earlier.
yeah.
2
And then
USB-C ports.
Dual panoramic sunroof.
Yeah, which has its own shade that's manual.
That is
I've
nice.
never seen that before.
Yeah, straight up luxury.
And then the center thing won't come down because of the seat, but
Oh,
there's 2
yeah.
cup holders.
Yeah, that's okay.
So,
Cool. And this is just a hybrid. It's not a plug-in hybrid. It's all-wheel drive, so you get that rear electric motor giving power to the rear wheels.
Yep.
Driving around the neighborhoods today in the snow and the ice, all-wheel drive system in this works great. Puts its power down really well. And let's take a look at this engine. 2-liter 4-cylinder.
Yep.
Makes a net combined horsepower rating of 196 horsepower. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
196 horsepower, which is 2 more horsepower than the front-wheel drive Prius.
That's right.
And then, okay. And then it has 139 net combined torque.
Okay, cool. I mean, it feels like more torque because it's pretty quick.
It does,
now.
and I feel like that number
Yeah.
is not accurate, but everywhere I looked on the internet it says 139 pound-feet.
Okay.
So, I mean, it is what it is. That's what Toyota claims. So.
It feels properly quick.
It
For a
does.
Prius, it feels fast.
Yeah, it weighs
But
just over 3,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
not a ton of weight to carry.
it is interesting driving this. I don't know if you experienced anything like this week, but you don't get as much respect on the road from other drivers in a Prius, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
People cut
Yeah.
you off a little bit more.
People ride this close to your bumper.
Yeah.
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 I had a semi-truck behind me that was honking at me because I didn't run a red light, and he
That's
was
right.
very upset that I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree. People see the Prius script on the back, and they immediately are upset that you exist.
Yeah, it's something that I've noticed over the years of driving Priuses that
Yeah.
you feel like you're getting bullied a little bit on the road.
Yeah.
Just, I think this Prius, even though it looks so good, it's cool, it's new, you don't see a lot of them on the road, it's still recognizable as a Prius, and that is just something to be aware of while you're driving, is that people expect you to kind of fit that Prius driver stereotype, but you can surprise them off the line.
That's right.
With that 196 horsepower. All right.
Isn't there a Facebook group dedicated to left lane Prius?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I like just driving this thing around as fast as possible. It's really fun.
Break the stereotype.
Yeah. I have a buddy who used to own a Prius, and it was like the 2nd gen Prius, which was super slow. He got pulled over one day for doing 90, and the cop was like, "You know how fast you're going?" The guy was like, "No." He said, "You were doing 90 miles an hour." And he's like, "Wait till I tell my wife. She won't believe me." And he got off.
That's hilarious.
But that's no longer the case. This thing can hustle.
Yeah.
We have heated, ventilated seats, a heated steering wheel that is just about the right temperature, nice big screen with the same infotainment we've seen from a lot of Toyotas. CarPlay was pretty reliable for you this week. Mine kept dropping whenever I made a phone call, which could just be my phone or CarPlay. We don't know who to blame.
So you're running wireless CarPlay currently. I was running wired only this week because I found that kind of no matter what car, wireless CarPlay is just a little bit more unreliable than wired.
is,
So
yeah.
usually I'll just run wired CarPlay and I have no problem.
All right, well,
Yeah.
that's a good plan. And you charge your phone.
Yep.
Speaking of phone charging, you have this little, whoops,
What in the world?
I just accidentally rolled down the windows.
Okay.
You have this little slot here for
Make
your
sure
phone.
you read that. Hashtag wireless charger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's also the hashtag hidden compartment.
That's right.
Wow.
I'm sure the millennials that engineered this car are quite pleased with those.
I would have liked to
Thanks.
be in the room when that when that decision
Me too.
was green lighted. Hashtag wireless charging doesn't work particularly well on my phone, but iPhones are weird. They have this camera bump.
Yeah, it's true.
The element is there. I don't know. More storage right here. Everything is rubberized and kind of nice grippy bottom, which is always good. You've got a USB-C port, another USB-C port, camera view buttons, which I always like to see. Nice cameras. Those look good. Digital rear view mirror. Lots of adjustment with that. Wow. And then all that action right there. I am at the lowest seating position, and at 5'10", I have enough headroom, but I feel cramped in
This
this
seat
new car.
doesn't lower.
That's right.
So this is how.
I'm used to pretty much in every single Toyota, the passenger being about 2 inches taller than I am.
Yeah, because the seats don't adjust properly.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually, the seat does lower down. I spoke incorrectly, but it doesn't go as low as the driver's seat.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. No, that's good. Ambient lighting looks really cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. It'll flash occasionally, depending on like driving assistance system alerts and stuff. You've got a button down here to pop your fuel filler. Won't need that very often. Pop the tailgate. 2-seat memory settings. I mean, you got to hand it to Toyota. They've done a really good job with all the physical controls and ergonomics in this interior. I find the gauge cluster a little bit challenging to read, but that's kind of the way the Prius has always been, and it's always kind of had this higher up instrument display that's close to the windshield. I just don't find this an intuitive screen to look at, though. I think you'd probably get used to it over time. One design decision that I do like here is that there is a place to rest your hand right here while you're making inputs on this screen.
That's a good point.
And because this is the new Toyota infotainment, it's pretty simple. Google Maps based navigation, CarPlay, wireless or wired. Were you going to say something?
I was just going to say that that's something that's often overlooked. I think that it's hilarious how important it is to have a little ledge right here so you can aim, because it's hard when you're going down the road, you want to, you're going on a bumpy road, you want to make an adjustment. It's nice to be able to steady your hand.
Absolutely. I feel like all car manufacturers design their infotainments in a lab, in like not in motion, and they're not driving down an actual road that has bumps, and you're relying on your shoulder strength to make inputs. Okay, enough sitting around chatting. Let's go for a drive and see what this is like on the road. Nice 360 cam. It'll draw what it saw under your vehicle as you drive around, which is very clever. We saw that in the Toyota Land Cruiser, which was kind of touted as an off-roading feature, but here we get it in the Prius.
Yeah, you should have looked up ground clearance, because you could maybe off-road this.
This is the all-wheel drive
rally Prius.
Oh, I love a lifted overland Prius. Steering, excellent. Nice small wheel. The Toyota Prius has always had the tiniest steering wheel, and it makes it feel just a little bit more nimble and sporty. And this thing actually feels sporty. We get 3 drive modes: Sport, Normal, Eco. They just kind of change throttle response. Eco will put your HVAC into a more economical mode that doesn't heat or cool the car as much. And I figure since it's snowing a little bit today, we can actually drive this economically and not like a complete hoon, which is how we've driven Priuses in the past.
Drive it like a normal Prius driver.
Except for right here.
Okay.
Tires have decent grip in the snow. Like that's not bad.
Surprising.
Yeah. All of your inputs are calibrated so well here in this latest generation. From the braking, to the steering, to the throttle map. It all just feels right. The 2-liter isn't too droney. It is kind of loud at full throttle, but chances are, most of the time, you're not really going to be flogging it. And it seems to get up to speed just fine with just quarter throttle, minimal revs.
I feel like I remember the Prius Prime being slightly quieter.
Probably, yeah. More power. Handles well. Very flat around a corner. It feels light. It just has this kind of nimble, athletic poise around a corner.
It's that steering, the light, quick steering.
Yeah.
And the little baby steering wheel.
Yeah, the dash here is very BZ4X, but that's okay. This all looks pretty well salted through here.
Can you defeat traction control all the way in this?
You can. You should be able to.
It's a physical button.
And we have to come to a complete stop. power slides in your Prius. But you can turn traction control off. Let's see what traction is like here from a dig with everything on. That's pretty good.
Wow.
I mean, if you live in the snow belt, in a wintry climate, you're probably going to want the all-wheel drive Prius, because that would not have gone well front-wheel drive only.
Yeah, it's only a couple grand more, $1,500 more or something. So
totally worth it.
Not a big deal.
Yep. You take a small fuel economy hit, but for the confidence, for the drivability in conditions like this and worse, I think it's worth having. Ride is excellent. Really well composed over bumps. It's comfy. I mean, you know, it's kind of the same story, but everything about this new Prius is better, but you are compromising visibility, some practicality. There are some concessions to be made just based on this car's shape, its ethos, its, you know, the focus on efficiency and design, which is kind of strange for Toyota, because usually that's not the case.
It is, yeah. I think Toyota was fed up with everyone making fun of the Prius, so they said, okay, well, here you go.
Let's make it
on their
super sexy,
yeah, exactly,
and fast. Well, not fast, but just like it can keep up with traffic.
It's like 3 seconds faster to 60 than the old Prius.
Right?
Like 30% quicker.
Yeah, it's a pretty big horsepower bump.
Yeah.
Let's do another 0 to 60 here. Put it into sport mode. ABS is well calibrated.
Impressive.
Yeah. All right, off we go. You ready?
Yep.
A little bit of front wheel slip, but minimal drama on snow. And there's 60. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is that faster than my old BRZ?
I would say so.
Could be.
I think in a real world scenario, lining both cars up, I think this would beat the old BRZ for sure.
Poor car was so slow. But it was fun. What do you think? You've spent all week with this. You've probably driven it a little bit more than I have, honestly.
Yeah, we've driven it a similar amount. I enjoyed it. The only thing that I didn't remember was how kind of loud the 2-liter is when you're high up in the revs.
Yeah.
And we had what did we have last week? I don't know. So we had just come out of something I was used to flooring everywhere. So I was just like getting in this and
cute horn.
It is a really cute horn. You should thank that gentleman for allowing us to do a horn test.
Sure.
Otherwise, though, it's been great. But I agree with everything you say with kind of ergonomics, getting in and out of,
Yeah.
It's a little bit hard just because the roofline is so low. However, these are all things that I am willing to sacrifice because I think this car looks excellent.
Yep.
And I think that the sacrifices aren't so drastic that it's going to really matter too much to people. So I would say that they are worthy sacrifices.
I think if you were 6 foot or taller, you'd be a little bit cramped in this. Otherwise, you want to be a shorter, smaller individual to fit in this car and not feel like you're too cramped.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But, I mean, like you said, everything here is easy to use, lots of physical controls. It's a nice car to live with. We going to church?
I guess so. Try parking here. Yeah, I like the size of it. It's just so easy and nimble, easy to place and drive around.
That 360 camera is so high quality.
It really is good.
I just noticed also, we are pretty close together in this car.
Yeah.
Like we kind of can't both rest our elbows. It's kind of like a well, I guess we kind of can. But I kind of feel like we're in a Miata.
Sure.
We're sitting right next to each other.
Very narrow.
Yeah.
Well, there aren't a lot of small cars left.
No, it's not a bad thing.
Everything's an SUV. We're so used to driving high up in these massive cabins.
Yep.
And I appreciate that Toyota is still making a small, efficient, compact car like this.
I agree. 100%.
And you have the RAV4 and everything, but I don't know. This drives so much better than just about every other Toyota hybrid on the market. It's just so nice to live with and spend time in behind the wheel. The driving experience really, it does outshine everything else in the class. And you know, if you can put up with some of the spatial compromises, then you know, the new Prius is great. It is expensive, and I don't know if dealer markups are still a thing, but that's something you might have to deal with, which is annoying. You don't have to get the fully loaded $40,000 Prius like this.
It starts at like 28.
Yeah,
so.
Which is very reasonable. And this is one of the cars that I would have no reservations about buying used.
Oh,
too.
No.
Yeah. The powertrain here is bulletproof, proven over time. I mean, you know, it's going to be great. So, if you want to buy a car to own for 10 to 15 years, pretty good idea.
This car makes a lot of sense as a commuter, and if you're a single person, you'll have no problem with the storage space and everything like that. But also, if you have a spouse or significant other or whatever, they probably have an SUV. So you can have this as a second car.
Sure.
And it makes a lot of sense for your morning commute, and then when you're actually going out on the weekends to the store or whatever, using a vehicle, you don't even have to worry about using this.
That's right.
Though if you needed to, you could, but what I'm saying is some of the sacrifices aren't that big of a deal for like what this car is intended for.
Yeah, and it's usable. I mean, you know, the trunk is about the same size as the GR Corolla.
Yeah, it's you don't have a ton of room there.
This is a battery that has a rear diff.
Yep.
You know, it's all compromises in the name of purpose.
Yeah. But the last one of these that Charlie and I reviewed, we kind of said that the Prius is like becoming a bit of an enthusiast car.
It feels like it. You know, it does feel like an enthusiast product.
Yep. Just because it's not, you know, this is not the kind of car that people are really picking to drive anymore as their daily. So you kind of have to know.
If you know, you know. It's a niche thing.
It is.
And I don't know if it's availability or what, but I haven't really seen a lot of these on the road, at least around here in Michigan.
No, I haven't either. I think it's availability. I think they can't make enough.
Yeah. And maybe also more on the West Coast, who knows?
Yeah.
But it is a really sharp car. It's kind of striking when you do see one. The red is gorgeous. I like that Toyota's making some cool colors for this. All right, well, we've probably said everything we need to say about the Prius and more.
Add it to your catalog of pre-eye videos.
Yeah, we filmed quite a few. Though not as many as we filmed with the Toyota Tacoma. I still have one more left from the Toyota Tacoma.
Do you really?
Yeah, we have to do our Tacoma versus Ranger street comparison.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's video number 18 or 17.
That sounds right.
It's getting up there, yeah. All right, well, thanks again to Chris for joining us for this video, providing some of your insights,
Of course.
thoughts, opinions. We're going to swap cars. I'm going to drive this Cayenne.
I struggle to hand the keys back to you. That is just
It's just an amazing car.
fabulous automobile.
Yeah, it's a good time. Cool. All right, well, go check out Chris's channel at TheTopher Drives. We'll walk you guys around this one more time, and that'll be a wrap for this video. Oh, what'd you think of the JBL sound system?
It's decent.
Yeah, it's one of the better JBLs, I think.
It is,
in Toyota's
yeah.
lineup.
They're getting better as they integrate them into their newer models.
Yeah.
But the JBLs are never class leading.
Yeah. On that drive, we got 24.8 miles to the gallon.
That might be a record for the lowest MPG a Prius driver has ever got. Would you say in the beginning we're gonna drive this like a normal, a normal person?
We did a couple 0 to 60s, and we tried to do a donut, and we merged, you know, at full throttle like 12 times. That's pretty good. Actually, honestly, 25 miles to the gallon on that drive was decent.
Yeah.
We idled for a little bit. So I guess if you do have a lead foot and you buy a Prius, that's probably the most efficient way to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's naturally aspirated.
And it'll still be cheap because it takes regular fuel.
That's right. Boy, the front windscreen is almost flat.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It goes like halfway through the driver's front, or the front windows.
Yeah. Surprisingly, one statistic that I learned about this new Prius when I went on the launch, this actually isn't as aerodynamic as the previous generation. It takes a slight hit in drag coefficient, but they kind of make up for it with the underbody and some other things.
Is that because they made the front look like the Ferrari Puro Sangue?
Maybe. Yeah. It is still very, very, very slippery, but it has a slightly higher drag coefficient. Though drag coefficient isn't the whole story. That's probably why they fitted 195 something R19s on this to really kind of reduce that rolling resistance too. Okay.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.